the opportunity to meet many of the members of the Bush family this past summer during Little League when Tom's son Jake played in the same Little League as my son. His Tigers against my son's Rangers. That run, nothing doing. Pickup of nil.
Well, the adjustment that the offensive line, the huge offensive line for the Lancers will have to make is to stop this penetration by the Bruins defense. They have been slipping blocks and they have been getting in the backfield practically when the ball gets there to the running back or to Valdez.
That brings up a 4th down and 6, which means it is a punting situation, and the Bruins really making things happen basically with their defense early on. That's Palladino kicking. Gets a good kick and then gets an even better bounce as it rolls out at the 13. Wonderful kick.
Well, Palladino really was a soccer player up until 2 years ago, Willie, and then he just happened to meander into the football practice and saw some other guys kicking. He said, hey, let me try that, and the rest is history.
You mean that other football?
Yes, the football.
As I say to many of my Hispanic friends, no football macho, just football.
No mas, no mas.
And I say that because of the pads and the 300-pound weight of the linemen that are pushing people around. It is 1st down and 10 now for the Bruins. It is run to the far side. It is Gaither again. Gaither not nearly as much success as he had on his first carry, but he does pick up 3.
LaVale Mann for the Lancers made that tackle on the speedy Gaither. You do not want him to get him outside on the sidelines because we already saw what he could do.
It is 7-0 Bruins. The crowd was here, but they hadn't even sat down yet. Happened 17 seconds into the contest. This time it was Omar Issa. Issa, again, not much.
Omar's older brother, Abdul, I think you remember him, Willie, a couple of years ago for the Bruins, and he is continuing the tradition at running back.
It is 3rd down, 7. Big play coming up for the Bruins. If they give up the football on the punt, the Lakewood Lancers will get some pretty good field position. They will try and go up top. They've got a man wide open. 1st down for the Bruins and a lot more after a great block. The block thrown by Chris Lahara.
Greg
Wow.
Richardson coming all the way on a drag across the middle of the field, and Battle had enough time for him to develop his pattern, and it was a very successful pass and a 1st down.
And while it didn't spring him for a lot of yardage, the block by Lahara, that'll get a lot of respect from his teammates, and he may get a very helpful block down the line. This is a huge run for the Bruins. Up the middle goes Carlos Velasquez, and he is stopped after a pickup of 16.
Well, this is a fine running machine that the Bruins have, and it was a tremendous block by the offensive line. As we look at the replay, number 78 blocks down, and it has him running right where he wants to be, Velasquez, and he gets 16 yards, 16 big ones. You're going to feel the excitement in the air tonight, Willie. It's really a big game.
Although the electricity is coming down just a tad bit as Lancer fans are starting to realize that this Bruin team came to play. Battle is in trouble, gets it off, and he's got Gaither. Gaither's got a big blocker with him. Gaither with a 1st down and more. Breaks a tackle, he's to the 20. Wow.
Well, David Battle was in a lot of trouble. He faded to the left, or excuse me, faded to the right, and it was all set up on the left side of the field. As we see him go through the belly, nice fake with the ball. He carried out his fakes very well, and we see the screen set up on the left side of the field. Now he gets away from potential tacklers and just dumps it off to Gaither, and that's real dangerous with his blocking on the sideline.
Jorge Bernal was with him. Bernal, 6'2", 280, providing a swath. And now Omar Issa goes the distance, 20 yards. Wow, the Bruins just go through the Lancers, 84 yards on the drive.
like a hot knife through butter.
Indeed.
That's exactly what they've been doing, and it's really because as we see the flashy running by the wing backs and running back. There has really been the blocking of the offensive line for the Bruins to put them ahead by 2 touchdowns early.
Point after attempt coming up for Wilson, as a line drive kick by Brian Hewitt is high enough and long enough. It is 14-0, 7:15 left in the first quarter. We'll take a break. Give us time to get over the shock. Actually 7 plays for the Bruins. On those 7 plays, Battle, 46 yards passing. Gaither, 2 carries, 13 yards. Issa, 2 carries, 21 yards. Velasquez, 1 carry, 17 yards. And here comes Peoples. Peoples still on his feet. Peoples gets out of that crowd. He could be gone. Gets by the kicker. He's down at the 40.
Yeah, we did the right thing, Willie, during this ball game, because this is really exciting.
It's got arena football written all over it.
Let's just shorten the yardage here and go between the 40s, and we might have a lot of action. Now, this is just great effort. He breaks 2 tackles right in the middle of the field, Willie, and watch him stutter step, and he's going to go the other way now. He's going to get rid of this would-be tackler and go down the sidelines. For a moment, I thought he was going to go all the way, but number 11 does not give up on this run, and he comes all the way 15 yards back and makes a tackle.
That's Steve Pasinger. The president should be so lucky to have that kind of security around him. Peoples was well protected by his Secret Service-like blocking. Flag down. Encroachment against the Bruins. Second time in the ball game, the Bruins been flagged for that very penalty. Once on the very opening kickoff. Might have shown that they were just gnashing their teeth just a little bit too much, chomping at the bit.
That defensive line is very aggressive, the Bruins are, and they have been slipping tackles and getting into the backfield. That's a factor in this football game early.
Valdez, Lancers, 1st and 10 from the 42. It is up the middle. It is Perry, and Perry dragging some would-be tacklers with him before finally being brought down by David Gomez, but not before Philip Perry rambles 11 yards and picks up a 1st down.
Well, the Lancers are going to the dive play right now with the aggressiveness, Willie, of the defensive line for the Bruins. They say all we need is 1 block because there's man coverage. If we can get 1 block and get into the secondary, we can get very nice yardage.
In this game, as I mentioned earlier, the Bruins 7 plays. This will be the 6th play for the Lancers offensively, but it's 14-0 on those 13 plays. Valdez holding on to it, gets to the corner, gets near a 1st down before finally skipping out of bounds with a little help from one of the Bruins.
Beside the blocking, Willie, what made that play is the ball fake by Valdez. They thought it was still the dive, and Valdez kept the ball and got to the outside. That's the beauty of the double wing T. If you get to looking at the running backs in the backfield, you're going to be lost.
As you constantly tell me, watch the guards. That is what you tell me, right?
Yes, that's exactly what the coaches tell me.
See, I've been listening.
and it's proven to be true.
It is 1st down and 10 for Lakewood. They have it on the 16-yard line with number 16 having the football. Could not get rid of it before he was drilled from behind by Curly Dorn.
Curly Dorn, the leading tackler for these Bruins.
It was a loss of 4, so it is 2nd and 14.
If you really want to know what's going on in this football game, you really have to watch the offensive line and the defensive line of these 2 teams. No blocking, no positive yardage for the Lancers, and the Bruins have been slipping blocks very, very well.
And don't forget, the quarterback giveth and the quarterback taketh away. You'll see him stick it in the belly of one of his runners and pull it right back. Instead, he's throwing. He's got Jimmy Mott inside the 10, close to a 1st down. Second time that play's worked.
And the reason why it's working, Willie, is because the Bruins are very aggressive at the point of attack, and that leaves the tight end open in the middle of the field. There it is right there. No one's on him. The strong safety has to come up, or the free safety has to come up and make a touchdown-saving tackle.
Third down and 3 for the Lancers. They're close, but they need to get into the end zone, but they're not going to do it on this drive. Another turnover as the Lancers appeared to be getting ready to get in the end zone. Ooh, that's got to hurt.
Penetration, Willie, by the defensive line for the Bruins. And they've stopped Valdez, something that Milliken didn't do last week when they allowed him to do what he wanted to do. But Greg Gibson said, as we saw right there, we're going to hit him every opportunity.
Or as Mike Tyson would say, we're going to hit him, we're going to hurt him. Just leave the ears alone. 1st and 10, and it is Issa with the football. Issa with the football, and they are running off plays at a huge clip. That was a run of 20. Second 20-yard run on the 3rd carry for Issa.
This is the same Bruin team that scored 66 points against Edison and 52 points against Compton last week. And they shut down Big McDaniels from Compton, the outstanding runner. And they're doing it right now offensively.
Good job, Jose. Keep it up, dude.
Short pickup was that Gaither, I believe it was. Gaither gains 3.
9 touchdowns for Gaither thus far this year, Willie. He's quite an outstanding runner. You know, what a story. Gaither, Randy Gaither, had some academic problems last year, Willie, and it's bounced back this year, did some extra work, got himself eligible, and doing quite well, thank you, in school.
Always a wonderful story to hear. If you make it happen in the classroom, you can make it happen on the field, and Gaither has certainly done that. That play, attempting to go up the middle.
Willie, you would think that the Lancers would not be fooled on the double wing T because they employ it themselves and they see it a lot in practice, but it looks like they're a little confused out there.
Well, just because they run it doesn't mean they ever stop it in practice. That pass off the fingertips of Velasquez. First incomplete for Battle.
Well, the Bruins go to the air for the first time, actually, not for the first time, for the second time because of the screen last time they had the ball. This time they were very successful also with a little dump-off pass right in the middle of the defense of the Lancers.
It is a punting situation the first time that the Bruins will have to give it up. They have scored on their other 2 drives. They have had a tremendous ball game in just the first 9 minutes. Peoples telling his folks to get away as it'll drop dead at the 23. And with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first quarter, Lakewood will have to go just under 80, actually just under 70 to get back to where they were. And then another 10 to get to where they wanted to go.
Well, Tom Bush, the head coach of the Lancers, said ball security or no fumbling is a major priority. But they've fumbled twice, and they've given the Bruins life here early, and as a result, the Lancers are down 2 touchdowns here already in the first quarter.
2 fumbles, actually just pitches that were lost. Never actually got in the hands of the intended target. Valdez going up top, has Peoples, but too tall and too long. Valdez now 2 of 4 for just 21 yards.
They have thrown more this first quarter than they have most of the season. They don't throw the football very much, but when you are facing an 8-man front and the corners are rolled up on the wide receivers, you almost have to pass, Willie, to loosen up and string out the defense.
.122 yards in offense in this ball game for Wilson. Meanwhile, the Lancers, with just 25, actually make that 36 yards in offense. Not much, but there's a flag down on the play. On 2nd down and 10. Personal foul. No, they're going to say no flag, wave it away.
Well, there was contact out there in that, on the wide side of the field, but they picked up the hanky. It could have gone either way. The Bruins, the Lancers are trying to pass the football, Willie, so that they can loosen things up here, but they haven't been very successful doing it, except for the tight end a couple of times.
The Bruins have come in with a game plan and their players committed to it. They haven't fallen back into their other tendencies and mistakes. They have played very well during this first quarter. Omer, not much, only picks up 3. For Omer, who was a big part of the offense last week, that is his first run. Actually, they pitched it to him twice. His first time actually getting it.
Kenny Maddox, number 45 for the Bruins, clogged up that play at his inside linebacking position. Otherwise, that would have been big yardage.
2 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first as Palladino getting set to punt it away. Back to receive, looks like Gaither and Richardson. Palladino punting it away from, it was actually Velasquez and Richardson. Velasquez goes back to retrieve it at the 30, gets hit at the 40, bounces back, stays on his feet at midfield and down the sideline. It could be trouble. To the 30 and he's gone. Forget about it. Holy cow. A 70-yard punt return for the score. If it's going to fall apart for Lakewood, it's just going to fall all apart. And the Boo Birds are out.
Well, one of the concerns going in by the Lancers is to try to keep the Bruins' athleticism off the field. This is the highlight film here. He is almost tackled on the sideline. I thought he was going to go down around the 40 and look at him.
Sam Gross had him. Let him slip away.
He really is. The Sam Gross is supposed to be Division I, but he was duped out of that play. It was a lot of effort, a lot of great blocking by the Bruins. Corridor down the line of scrimmage. Down the sidelines, excuse me.
Velasquez with an electrifying 70-yard punt return for the score. Still first quarter, and it's 21-0. All in one quarter, and that the Lancers will have plenty of time to get back in this. Valdez with a fake that should not have worked. It should not have worked. Why? Because Richardson should have known he was 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. He can't throw the football. When he went up to fake it, he should have known. Richardson should have known.
And he drops back. He's under great duress. He just had to run this football. It was coverage downfield. Now watch him fake him out. Really good. He's well over the line of scrimmage, and he fakes out Richardson. Nice heads-up play by Valdez.
Psych. 17-yard run for Valdez. You got to know where you're at on the field. And if he's beyond the line of scrimmage, he can't do that. You almost want him to try and throw. It's up the middle to Perry, and Perry taking a couple of folks with him before being brought down by Gomez. Still a nice pickup of 6. We'll make it 5.
When the Lancers go to the power belly series, the fullback dive, they're getting good money. But when they try to pitch it and go around the ends, they're getting racked. And Valdez is not really getting off his pitch plays very well because of the penetration of the defensive line for the Bruins.
And the reason why is because the Bruins have committed at least a couple defensive players to the would-be pitchback, and that's why Perry's got a little running room on the inside. The Bruins have committed folks to those wingbacks, so those secondary guys come up, and that's why Perry's had some room to run right up the middle.
And he needs to get one block, and that's what he received on that last play, and it sprung.
14 yards, nice pickup.
That's what the Lancers are going to have to do. They're going to have to do some better blocking because the Bruins are very aggressive defensively.
Perry, 30 yards rushing on just 3 carries. They give. That's up the middle. Running it. Was that Perry again? I guess it was. Picks up 4, just falling down.
Sapau Issa, a first-team All-Moore League guy, made the tackle on that play. At both ends of the football, he's a very valuable player for the Bruins.
Clock ticking. We're getting very close to the end of this first quarter. A nightmarish first quarter if you're a Lancer. This homecoming day, or homecoming evening, starting to take the look of something out of Carey. If you remember that scene, prom night, it's very much like it. It is 21-0 Bruins as they manhandle the Lancers in the first quarter. Still 3 quarters to go. Stay with us. The Bruins own the first quarter. And again, the bright side is plenty of time for the Lancers. And for the second time, they find themselves in the red zone. They did fumble the last time they visited the red zone. Their second turnover of the game. The Bruins have taken advantage of a fumble at the 10 where they scored. They went 84 yards on a drive to score, and they took a punt 70 yards to score. Shung Peoples with a nice play just to get the football, and then he's able to get to the 5. Peoples just fortunate to get the football.
Well, let's watch Valdez. It's a good penetration by the offensive line. They moved it back. Nice pitch. And I'm glad he pitched it when he did because he was hit pretty hard. But Sean Peoples got that football and went tiptoe down the sidelines before he's drilled.
It is a pickup of 10 yards for Peoples. Remember that brilliant game he had when we saw him just last week against Milliken, over 100 yards, but that's his first carry of the game, and it comes in the second quarter. And then a flag marked off against the Bruins. That always spectacular 2.5-yard mark off.
I think it was a personal foul at the end of the play.
Very judicious timing by the Bruins. Give up 2.5 yards and get a cheap shot in. It is 1st and goal with Valdez trying to do it himself, but he gets to the goal line and stopped. Stopping him. I know Gomez was over there, but ultimately on the bottom of the pile was Steve Pasinger.
Well, Valdez stiffened up. He should have just really showed some determination and continued to keep his feet moving, but he saw that blitzing free safety and kind of stiffened up before he could have hit and pay dirt.
It is now 2nd and inches. Fumble. Who's got it? The Bruins did get it back. That could be the biggest break on this drive as Peoples able to recover it. Unbelievable.
Well, the Bruins are doing something that the Rams didn't do last week. They're hitting, well, that was just a bad pitch. It wasn't really a hit. It was a pitch that went right through Peoples' hands, which was the reason why they lost yardage.
Statistically, I stand corrected on Peoples. He did have 1 run in that first quarter, only of 3 yards. Remember that mark-off of just 2.5 yards on what would be a 15-yard penalty. You'd like to be able to cash in some of those penalty yards that did not get marked off, but nothing doing. It is now 3rd down and goal. Lancers at the 10. Valdez to throw. Valdez in trouble. Did he get it away? It is incomplete. Meanwhile, we have an interview down on the field. Let's go ahead and get that during this break.
We're here with Mr. Taylor, the principal of Lakewood. What were the activities that took place for the homecoming event this week?
Well, we had an extraordinary homecoming. All week long we had activities in the quad. And then today at the assembly we had a motivational speaker, which really I think inspired the kids to be as good as they can possibly be.
With events like this, how does it help the morale of Lakewood?
Well, I think the teachers and the parents and the students, everybody was very pleased at what happened today, and a lot of them said today's the best homecoming they've ever had.
Now, having once coached football and played football for Lakewood, how does it feel like to step back and kind of just watch the game?
It's nerve-wracking. I have a lot of trouble. It's just not wanting to get involved. I love the game, and I really enjoy watching Lakewood kids play tonight.
Back to Willie and Errol in the booth.
And there is a man who must have very mixed emotions. A man who coached at Wilson High School as the head coach, was a principal there before coming to Lakewood High School. He hasn't been here that long to get those strong ties that bind here at Lakewood.
And he is the original architect of the double wing T he brought to Wilson, coming from Poly, which they didn't run a double wing T, but Al brought the double wing T to Wilson, and they have used it ever since. Brennan and J.C. Clark, excuse me.
Well, we called it the Delaware double wing T. I think it was originally called the Al Taylor double wing T.
Yeah.
But, you know, certain name changes. Actually, he did bring that offense to Wilson High School, and it's kind of odd how through different coaches it is an offensive game plan that has stuck with the program.
And it served them well. I think it's
indeed.
a very confusing offense. If you get to watching things you're not supposed to, you could really be in a lot of trouble and ask the Lancers right now.
I can see Frankie Russell or Kevin McKenzie